Hello. What is up for anybody who's going to join the live? Just a quick chat before I go to sleep. Last night was very busy. Did like 17 or 18. Student scanned pretty much almost all of those. So that's great for them. Sucks for me because I don't need the training. One thing that's odd, now that I think about it, every single patient or every single case was negative. Come work in New York. Let's go. I'm ready to go to the big city, the Big Apple. All the cases were normal. And that's so rare, which I guess is good for the patients. Though, not really, because sometimes when... Can you guys hear me? Sometimes when, you get like 3 ultrasounds ordered and everything's normal, the patients are usually like, then what is it? That's an answer for the doctor. Or that's a question for the doctor. Sometimes we don't know what's wrong. Definitely not the appendix and the gallbladder or the kidneys. It was a very, very busy night. I'm a little tired. I had my Wawa at like 1 in the morning as opposed to 3. Iced coffee, so good. But yeah, the student's doing good. You're hired. She's killing it, man. That's awesome. My past students have done very well too. With their permission, I share little tidbits of whatever it is that they're doing, without getting too personal or whatever. And it's just amazing to see just the aptitude that everybody brings to the game. There's people that come and their first day, I ask them, do you know how to scan? Have you scanned anything? Do you know your protocols? And they might say yes, they might say no. We scanned in school, or I know protocols from school. So I'm like, all right, good. When the first case comes, I'm going to show you the protocol, and then you're going to do the next one, right? Like they say in medicine, see one, do one, teach one. So they come, I show them the images that you're supposed to take, and I don't scan echo. And the next time they come, or the next patient comes, if it's the same exam, boom, I let them do it. And I leave them alone. I don't stand behind them, because that can be a little nerve-wracking. So I leave them alone. After they're done, they come get me. I review all their images. I redo the exam myself because I don't want to miss anything. But I review their images, and I'll tell them, look, I don't say these images suck, because sometimes they do. My images sucked when I started. But I don't say these images suck, or you can do better, or these are no good. I'm gonna have to delete everything and do it again. I see what from the images that they take. I see which ones are good that I can keep, and then I'll add, my images. And then I just tell them little pointers. See, in this image right here, there's too much rib shadow. Try to angle diagonally or pretty much parallel along the ribs in the intercostal space. Even though you're supposed to be doing a sagittal image, you can kind of go oblique and still get a longitudinal type image, even though it's technically oblique. So in this image, too bright. If they're bright here, when the images transfer over to PACS, they're gonna burn your retina. So lower the gain. And the good thing about post-processing is a lot of those images, you can just tweak it there. TGCs, you can do everything after the fact. So a lot of those images are even salvageable, But then there's other students that start from the get-go, they're pretty good, and that's good because that gets their confidence up. But I always tell them, I was like, fine, you find an appendix, don't be discouraged when you don't find the next one. And, use these confidence boosts because they're going to help you. But don't get too overconfident. I don't even say that. I just say, try to keep a level head, because today you might have did great. Tomorrow you might miss something. You might miss a pathology. You might get an image that's not, to your liking. And that's fine too. So, but the good cases are good because it does boost your confidence, and then the next day they're like, oh, what's this? And you're like, oh, that's nothing, that's this. And oh, what's this? And that's what it is. It's a learning experience, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see it. I've worked with people that started, almost a lot of people that worked, at my place were students when they started there, and then they graduated and they became techs, and then now they work elsewhere. And you can see even in them, see from when they started to the journey to when they got hired, and then months after they got hired, and then years, and it's just like, and now they're superstars. That's always cool to see, I always like to show tricks too. I think some people are always like maybe apprehensive of teaching people or showing people tricks. Like, oh, why am I going to show somebody who could potentially replace me? Like, bro, everybody's replaceable. Everybody's expendable. Even if you think, I've worked at a hospital where I felt honestly like I was a king. Even being a sonographer, not a doctor, not no CEO. In the hospital, I felt like I was the man. Everywhere I went, everyone liked me. I liked everybody. I guess what you would call popular, you know? And even in that hospital, you're expendable. Do something wrong, bye. So yeah, I train people. That's so nice that you have students at night. Sometimes it helps. No, it helps a lot, actually. Because we're very busy. And if we're not busy, they can do each case themselves. And I do the case after them. And I submit their images if they're great. But on nights like that, they'll do one. I'll do one or two. Finish them, take them over. And then after that, they've usually finished their case. And I can check their case, retake any images, answer any questions. You know, it's awesome. And the cool thing is back then we didn't have sonographer students at night. You know, I was at night by myself, so lonely, all night, 20 patients just for me, nobody to share it with, you know, all alone. And they told me, oh, we're gonna start having students at night. And my response was, at night, really? With me? Because I've always loved having students, even when I work days. They've always, I don't want to say they've gravitated toward me. It's both. I gravitate towards them. I see them as like, hey, you know, if you want to come and see something, I'll show you. If you don't, that's fine by me. So it's a mutual thing. But yeah, we've had them now. I'm probably now on my, see, there's one, I would say maybe 6th or 7th student in the you know, and not a very long time at all, in less than a year. And some of them have already graduated. One of them, I put in the word for her. She got hired, and she's actually going to start a shift with me. So she's going to be a work buddy with me. So not only am I going to have a student at night, I'll have an actual tech, a graduated tech that still is learning, and I'll be happy to teach. So, you know, that's great. It's awesome. You know, unless I get fired or something. I took abdomen and OB board last year, and I'm terrified to start studying for vascular. I take in April. Well, when's April? See, January, February, March, April. Okay, so you got like 2.5 months. That should be way more than enough time for vascular. A lot of people are intimidated by vascular. There's some people that are intimidated by everything. I'll be honest, for vascular I wasn't, because I had done so much of it for so many years. I worked for many, many years before I ever got my vascular. I'm the type of person that, like, I only get a registry if I need it. You know, the first one I got was OB, I think, and then I got abdomen, and with those two I was like, those are the general ones. I think I'm good with that. And everyone's, are you gonna get the vascular? I was like, am I gonna get a raise? No. Are you gonna get the vascular? Am I gonna get a raise? No. Like, what? If the only incentive is to say that I have it, I don't need that. I don't need a piece of paper or a little plastic card from the ARDMS to make me feel whole. I feel great already. I thought my skills in vascular were great. I loved vascular, and I know we live in a world where, you know, you have to like prove yourself by doing little tests and getting little certificates. But, you know, if it's not required for me, everyone's different. Whatever works for you. I didn't care for it. But once there made some Medicaid changes where people doing vascular tests had to be vascular registered, I went and got it. Right? Same thing with pediatrics. There's zero incentive for me to get the pediatric test. No raise, no nothing. Just another little plastic card from the ARDMS that I can stare at night when I'm lonely. Another set of initials. You know, I've worked with people that they put every single initial that they have behind their name. ARDMS, RVT, and I'm kind of being hypocritical because I actually put it in my bio on Instagram. I put all the initials. I fell into the trap. But whatever. They'll have, you know, basic X-ray machine operator, RDMS, RVT, BS. Like, honestly, you don't have to put Bachelor's of Science after your name. I mean, whatever. If you do, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend. You know, your driver's license number. That's that. You know, that one time you got perfect attendance in elementary school. I mean, so what? Nobody cares about that stuff. Like, all that stuff looks good on paper, but as soon as you show that you're not good at something, people don't give a damn how many polynomials you have. Well, you can just be a physician and just be a regular board for certified physician in your specialty. No extra credentials. no fellow of the American Association and blah blah blah, and be an amazing physician, right? Your work speaks for you. Because before I had my RVT, my work spoke for me. The radiologists loved my exams. I loved doing the exams. I did them in a timely manner. They were technically good exams. But I didn't have that RVT, right? And I'm sure a lot of people are going to disagree with me. That's fine. I mean, we all have opinions. But let's talk about driving. Do you need a driver's license to drive? No. My wife says I drive terrible. And I see people driving terrible all the time, and they're all licensed to drive, right? So a license just says that you've met the minimum requirements, posted by somebody, some organizing body, right? It doesn't mean that you're great at it. It just means that you've met the minimum. So I got the pediatric license anyways, and it took me years. Everybody's like, oh, are you gonna get it? Are you gonna get it? Are you gonna get it? I'm like, no, I'm not spending $250 for nothing. Oh, it's not nothing. It's another good. It looks good in your resume, bro. I don't care. If somebody's gonna hire me, they're gonna hire me. Whatever my resume says. If they're not gonna hire me, they're not gonna hire me. Look at me. I got all this experience, and I've literally applied for jobs, and they're like, nah. It's like literally, oh, you're too experienced. They want to pay that fresh person out of school $20 an hour, $25 an hour. Where you say, oh no, I need what I'm getting now or a little more, which is not a lot. Florida pays crappy. Then they're like, why do I want to pay you $40 an hour, and I'm gonna pay that person $25 an hour? And yeah, they don't have the experience, but we'll teach them, and we can mold them into whatever we like, right? So I have all the credentials and everything, and in this day and age, it's probably still. I'm pretty sure I can get hired in some places very easily, but in other places, they really want that fresh person right out of school, so they can highway rob. But yeah, I went and got the pediatric license. It's cool, I haven't really lost any sleep over it. I honestly had the thing on my countertop for weeks until I realized it was there, and I opened it and I made a post on Instagram, and I was like, oh look, it's because I have all of my certificates that the Air DMS gives you. I have them in those Rubbermaid bins because I haven't hung them up. Why am I gonna hang them up? Who's gonna see it? Me? I'm gonna stare, walk in my room and be like, wow, I did that. I don't need that. But some people do, and that's fine. It's just my opinions. Don't come at me. Do you ever wish you went on a different career path? Rahima, I was a barber before I did ultrasound. And I loved cutting hair. I love cutting hair still. I cut several people's hair. I cut my son's hair all the time. He actually asked for a haircut today. I cut my brother's hair, my cousin's, my dad. I love cutting hair. And I was a barber for a few years while I was going to school for ultrasound. And I started at 17, and I loved it. I thought it was such a cool profession. Super fun. Honestly, the stress you have in healthcare, none of that. It's just non-existent. I mean, the only thing I can say that's maybe similar is if you're cutting hair of a young child, what we would call a pediatric patient, and they're kicking and screaming and the parents not helping. Very, very similar, very analogous to doing pediatric ultrasound. But besides that, it's high, man. Just, you get a close relationship to your clients. I used to go out and eat dinner with my clients, go to parties with them, hang over. It was just an awesome profession. And my goal was just to go. Whatever I want to do, I want to be the best that I can be in it and just go to the top. And I wanted to open barbershops and open a barber academy because they just don't exist. Every school that's for cosmetology is for cosmetology, and they don't really teach you how to be a good barber. They'll teach you how to cut guy hair, but not the way guys want their hair cut, especially in urban cities where a lot of people want fades. They want short haircuts cut with machines, not with scissors. So, but I like to learn both. So that was my goal, but unfortunately I got bored of it. And I've been doing ultrasound for 17 years, and I don't regret it at all. I love it. Besides a few cases of burnout over the years that I remedied with teaching more, being more educative, creating the website, creating the social media accounts where I educate and joke around, has really, when I was going through some burnout, brought back my love for the profession. And I think that can be in any profession. If you can be an accountant, and if you could find a way to be passionate about what you do, you will. I'm sure there's, like, let's use TikTok for instance. There's people who use TikTok as an outlet for their career to get more exposure to their career. I'm sure there's accountant TikToks, and they have followers, and people are interested in watching their TikToks about accounting, right? But if you hate your job as an accountant and you go every day and you do it and it's boring, you can't stand it, you're gonna be miserable. So I guess it's frame of mind. And I wouldn't say I was miserable with ultrasound when I was kind of burned out. It was just the shift changed to night, which I'd never worked nights. I'd always work days, and just the sheer amount of work, doing everything by myself, which I can handle. It's fine by myself, but it's always nice when you have someone there to help you. It's a team. You get the camaraderie. You get somebody to pick up that slack, somebody to maybe complain to when the night's not going well, and they can do the same with you, right? Someone to vent to. Who am I going to vent to if I'm stressed because I've done 25 patients in a night, right? I'm going to go to the bathroom and look in the mirror and be like, man, Henry, this night sucks, man. Why'd you pick this profession? No, so, it's good to have people. And I'm actually happy that student that got hired in my job is going to start working in a shift to about 3 a.m. with me. That's amazing. But no, I don't regret going into ultrasound. So I think, honestly, whatever I do, much like my wife, whatever we do, we try to excel at it. And my wife is a surgical tech, and she didn't want to be a surgical tech. Who knows what a surgical tech is when you're in high school? Nobody, unless you've been exposed to the field. Same thing with ultrasound. I didn't know anything about ultrasound. Nikki, I live in Florida. We both went into our fields by happenstance, and she is revered in her hospital. There's doctors that will only work with her, and she's just a good worker. And there's a flip side to that coin. When you are a good worker, or when you take pride in your work, you're gonna work more. They're gonna make you work more, because the lazy people get away with doing less, right? My wife always takes a 30-minute lunch. She never takes more. And then I hear her complain, oh, this person here, they take an hour lunch, they disappear. I'm like, do the same. And I guess her conscience doesn't allow her to do it. Couldn't be me. I'll disappear. You gotta find me. I'll do my 30-minute lunch, and if there's a group of people and they're all slacking, I'm gonna go take my 30-minute lunch, and then sorry, the lunch didn't sit well with me. I have to go to the bathroom, because it's not fair. It's not fair. I've worked many times, many places where I do a lot more than others, but it's not because of lack of work from other. Everywhere I work, everyone puts in their fair share. If I do 5 patients and they do 3, it's just because maybe I'm a little faster. But many times, no. And it's a lot of sharing of work. Like, I work with nothing but women in one hospital. If there's a testicle come through, I'm gonna do it. If there's a transvaginal come through, you do it. Obviously, if I'm there by myself, I gotta go get a chaperone and do the transvaginal myself. And I did many transvaginals over the years. But that's how it is. My old coworker Helen, which is, I wouldn't call her coworker. She's my buddy. She's my friend to this very, very day. And we worked together years ago. That's how it was. The afternoons would get a little slow. We'd sit down there, get our little iPad, and start watching the Colbert Report. And then that ER would start buzzing. As soon as that ER starts buzzing, I'm like, all right, let's go. I've never, few people maybe in that hospital got hired that were a little slackers, and I called them out on it. Like, not rudely, but I would tell them, hey, you disappeared when it's busy. We need your help. Try not to do that. I'm not a manager, and I'm never going to be a manager anywhere. I don't manage. I manage myself, and that's it. But whatever. Greetings from the Philippines. Greetings from Miami, Florida. Very pretty today. I don't know why I'm wearing a sweater. It's hot. Well, I'm wearing a sweater because I was in the hospital, and the hospital was hot. I mean, cold. And now I'm hot. Over here walking my dog in this little makeshift park in the back of where my townhouses are. Any advice to sonography students? I don't know. Like, do your best. Read, learn. Don't stop learning. If you find reading the textbook boring, put on YouTube videos. Put my YouTube videos. Some of them, I'll admit, some of my earlier YouTube videos are kind of boring. They're kind of like monotone, like Bueller. But the infos is good because people reach out to me and say that the info is correct and helpful. If you're not a video person, look for podcasts. If you're not, just don't stop learning. And once you stop being a student, don't stop learning. Once you've been a sonographer for 5 years and you got all the protocols and you've seen so much, don't stop learning, because you're gonna come across things you've never seen before. That once in a lifetime thing, right? I did a patient that had Takayasu's arteritis, and I had an idea. I knew what it was from reading, right? very, very, very young person, shouldn't have any carotid disease, and the carotids are completely thickened and some completely blocked, right? But reading over the years, this is something that you read about, like maybe you'll never encounter it in a career, but if you prepare for it, once it shows itself, you'll be you might not even know what it is at the moment, but maybe you have an idea. So once you go to clinicals, if you're not in clinicals yet, just try to hopefully find a place that lets you scan. Like where I'm at, my student, she scans everything, and where she was at before, they let her scan a lot, and they let her scan everything, and that's just invaluable experience. And not only letting you scan alone, right? Not with somebody there holding your hand. So it's like sink or swim, right? And the guy who trained me, awesome dude, same thing, sink or swim. I did everything by myself, and then he would come and pick up the crumbs and pick up the mess that I had made, and then coach me. Never mean, never rude. It was always joking, right? I was telling the student the other day about a case where I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of it, but it was a scrotum ultrasound on an older gentleman, and man, I was so lost, and I'm taking pictures. I'm calling what I think is the testicle, and it turned out to be, it was the hernia, a hernia. So he had a hernia in his scrotum. I'd never seen one, so I'm there. I did a whole study, and he came, he deleted all my images, fixed it, and then after the case, we just laughed and laughed and laughed. Not me, like I didn't feel bad about it. I was embarrassed as hell, but I didn't feel, he didn't make me feel like an idiot. It was just like, like tears of joy laughing, like, wow, oh my God, dude, I can't believe you did that. It's just the way he handled that is amazing. And that's what I try to do with my students. Never ever tell them that their images suck or that they need to do better. No, man, it's like, and when I do I don't handle criticism good either. I'm a guitarist, and I used to have a YouTube channel, and man, I used to sing on the songs, and I'm not a great singer, I'll admit it. I play guitar good, but I'm not a good singer. But I love singing, so I would sing, and man, the people in the comment sections, they would murder me. They would straight up, those comments were hard to read. People on the internet, they have no filter. They can be as mean as they want to be, and that's that's what I try to do with any student. Even if the images are 100% terrible, I would never say that, because how is that constructive, right? It's not at all. You're just saying that they suck, right? No, it's like a way they could have criticized my singing. I was like, hey, look, bro, this is not, needs work. Maybe get some singing lessons, right? But no, I was like, bro, your singing sucks. Go off yourself, right? I was like, oh my God. So I always tell students, look, this image is too bright. This image has got too much depth. There's too much empty space behind the kidney there. But this image, you did good. That image, you did good. That image is halfway. I can show you how to fix that in a future patient, or on this one, if patient's still low, I can show them what angle to use, right? And sometimes when I am in the room, I do hold their hand, right? And I can't help it. I'll be in the room, they're scanning, and I'll see them, and I see them struggling, and I just grab their hand and just boop, boop, give it a little tilt, and immediately they find what it is they're looking for. And I think that helps, because they then start to ingrain that muscle memory. So it's tough. And I was texting with some people on Instagram, on the instant messenger, that teachers, they're not teachers, right? Sonographers are not teachers. Teaching is not really considered part of the job. Your job is to do something on ultrasounds. And in every department, there might be one person that really likes to teach, and the majority don't. That doesn't mean they're bad people or anything like that. They just don't want to teach. They don't want to do the extra work that entails, the extra responsibility that entails, and they're not getting compensated for it, right? I'm doing it, honestly, out of the goodness of my heart. I could be one of those people too. Like, look, don't talk to me. Go do whatever you want to do. I'm going to do the patients. If you want, watch. If you don't want to, don't watch. I don't care. But I'm not here to teach, because I don't get paid for that. That's not the point, right? Like, these people are paying so much money. So much money. Oftentimes, these like diploma mill schools like that I went to, and they're young. I was like 19 or something like that when I figured out my school wasn't accredited, and it was much too late. I already finished half the program. These people, they just want to learn. Now, the student comes in with a bad attitude, and they don't care, they don't want to be there, whatever. I'm still not going to tell them anything, because they're an adult, right? I'm not their parent. I'm not going to tell you, oh, you need to do better. You need to stock up the gel and the towels or whatever. No, I'll be like, look, whatever. You don't want to learn? You do you. Barely have encountered those. I have, but barely. But these people are there to learn, right? And I like to teach, so with me, it's fine. But the ones that don't, I do understand that. I sympathize with that. They don't want to do that, right? I empathize with that. But it doesn't mean you got to treat them like crap, right? They're adults. They don't want to be treated like that. Like, damn, give them some respect. But whatever, man. You know, like, healthcare is like that, bro. Like, the culture in healthcare, from medicine, doctors, physicians, to nursing, allied health, it's the, you know, eat the young, right? Nursing is notorious for that as well. Just treat the new students like absolute garbage, right? And then you got the mentality where people are like, oh, you know, if I'm really tough with this person, I'm gonna mold. No, you're not. No, you're not. That person's, if they're gonna be great, they're gonna be great, whether you treat them like ass or not. Sorry for the bad word. You treat them like crap or not. Because I never was treated bad by none of the people who taught me how to do ultrasound. Ever. Not once. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm great, because I don't want to sound arrogant or cocky or whatever, but I'm confident that I'm an excellent sonographer. I still have a lot to learn. Always learning. But I'm confident in my abilities, right? Never once was treated bad. So don't tell me that, oh, if I kick this person and then when they're down, kick them again, they're gonna come out great. Whatever. I mean, I guess it's an opinion. It's a take. I just don't agree with it. So if it works for them, great. I've never heard a student that said they enjoyed that or they appreciated that, but it doesn't work for me. Never. I've never, ever. In fact, I'm so nice to the students that they're flabbergasted, right? And every time I bring something up, they look like scared. I'm like, sometimes it's not even about a case. I'm going to talk about something completely different. Maybe I want to tell them about a new song that I'm listening to. And they're like, what happened? No, yo, chill, relax. Like, dude, like, not with me. I try to also make the experience for them as laid back as possible. I'm not there, like, honestly, I don't even care if my students, if they stock up. I know I'm going to be probably the only one in this. I don't care if they ever, not once, put a towel where the other towels, or refill the gels. I don't care. I will never ask them either. I do not care. They're not there. They're there to scan. They are there to learn how to do ultrasound, to learn about how to treat patients, how to talk to patients, how to interact, how to find pathologists, techniques, sonographic theory. That's it. They're not there to learn how to stock up. I know that it's going to be a part of their job. They'll figure it out eventually. In their next rotation, maybe those people will be like, oh, you got to stock up everything. And with that being said, every student I've ever been, because I know that they drill this into you in school, has been phenomenal. They are always stocking up. Honestly, when I'm working, by my 15th patient, I go to grab a towel, and I'm like, oh man, I'm all out. So then I got to go find some towels. But the students are excellent at restocking themselves. I never asked for that, ever. And the one student that comes and doesn't do it, I won't say anything about it. I won't tell their program director. I didn't know who the hell the program director is. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. When I used to work in the other place, the program director would come and they would ask, so how's the student doing? I'll be honest, bro. 100% of the time, the only way I would say anything is if a student like punched me in the face. And that fact, and it's a guy, we're going at it. But the teachers will come and be like, oh, Henry, how is so-and-so doing? Oh, they're doing great. They're doing awesome. They found a thing. They found a gallstone. They're great. They're gregarious personality. They're easy to get along with. Glowing. Because, you know, I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line, somebody's going to make a big deal and they're going to be like, oh, I don't want this person to come back to clinicals. Right? So, you know, that's just my take on it. It might not be popular. Some people are going to say, oh, you're wrong, Henry. You're doing it wrong. But I don't know. I've worked with many people. I'm not going to say they were my students, right? Because, yeah, they trained with me maybe a little bit, but they're not my students, right? It's not like I'm the sensei and they're my grasshoppers. No, they were students that I happened to be working while they were students with me. And all of them, every single one that has gotten work and has worked at where I work, phenomenal. Superstars. When I'm doing case reports, sometimes I'm going through old studies, right? And I'll find one from somebody that was a student when I was working, or, you know, not under me, but with me. And I just see their study and I'm like, look, right? I've been looking and looking and look whose imaging is the one I like the most. So-and-so. And I'm talking about many people. You know, Daniela's one of them too. She's one of my friends that work with me, and she's in Orlando now. She's probably not watching this live, but very cool people. But it's just amazing. There's another one that I saw. She was a student, and I remember she got hired, and I remember just happening to fall across her cases over time and just seeing like, wow, my God. And the way she would do vascular studies, well, she does because she still works. And I'm like, man, she got so good, so fast. And it's awesome to see. It's like when you have a kid, right? And the kid learns a new skill or something. Or damn, when you yourself learn a new skill, right? Like when I learned it just last night, I don't practice guitar like I used to, and I don't learn new songs like I used to. But just last night, I had this new song came out, and I'm really in love with the song. And I know the solo. I kept on hearing the solo. I was like, I know I can play that, and I taught myself it last night, and it's so rewarding. So it's all about life and learning, and having students is awesome. I know not everybody likes students, but you know what I'm saying? Give them all to me. I've been in a hospital before, literally with 3 students, 4 students. And they're just all with me, up and down, doing portables, and they're in the ICUs, scanning patients. And I'm like, all right, go, you're next, and this is this anatomy. And it's an awesome experience. It keeps it fresh. So, thank you guys for listening to me rant, as usual. Spectra ultrasound, that's how I treat my students, and they all gravitate towards me instead of other techs. Of course, there's that old saying, you can attract, is it a fly? You can attract flies with honey? I don't know. Something like that, right? I sound like George Bush when he said you can fool me once thing on TV. But yeah, you can attract more flies with honey, right? Being nice. You don't have to. And you can be stern too, right? Like if someone's really messing up, you can be stern with them, but respectfully. You're not their parent. Ultimately, it's not your school. Ultimately, you don't have to hire them. Most of the time, ultimately, you're not the manager, right? What's it to you? I've heard so many stories of people from years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, being as a student at a place, and the people won't let you scan, won't let you look. They don't talk to you. They don't treat you. I just don't get why people are like that. And that's in every aspect of life. That's whether you're a pilot, whether you're a doctor. I don't get it. I can't stand it. I'm sociable. I like talking to people. I've worked at a hospital once where nobody talked to nobody. Everybody was just with their nose in the air, and I was a young, impressionable young kid, and I'm like, I would say hi to people, and they just walk right past you, and I'm like, I wasn't used to that. So I got used to it quick. So I was like, all right, so I won't speak to anybody. But then I've worked at other places where just every single person in the hospital is just fantastic. Everybody gets along. I'm talking about go to do a biophysical profile. Hey, Henry, we have food in the lounge. You know what I'm saying? Doctors trying to scoop me up, trying to poach me. Hey, Henry, how's it going? Hey, my practice is on the campus. If you ever want a job, I know you like working here, but you can come work with us. And that's awesome, right? So, whatever, man. Thanks. I appreciate you guys joining me for this live. I'll save it and post it for anybody who wants to hear me talk crap for 30 minutes or however long I've been doing this, right? Thank you. Right now, I'm actually going to go and edit a video on how to get the perineal. A few people have been asking for it. And I remember having trouble for it when I started, and it's a video of me scanning my own calf and how to get the tibial peroneal trunk. I'm gonna go edit that video now. Hopefully it won't take too long. It usually doesn't. Post it on the Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and all that crap. And then I'm gonna go to sleep. So I will see you guys later. Bye.